Even though the Australian as well as the German government do not advise to visit Moldova, or to be more precise, Transnistria at the moment, due to some political tensions and the war nearby in the Ukraine, I still took a way of 36 hours of travel on me all the way from Brisbane, Australia, to visit my grandma. Have you even ever heard of Transnistria? It is officially known as the Pridnestrovian Moldavian Republic, Pridnestrovia as they call it here. It is a breakaway state that is internationally not recognized, but rather seen as a part of Moldova. And yet they have their own administration, their own passport and their own flag. And the last two even contain the hammer and sickle symbol like of the times of the Soviet Union. Before I dive deeper into the history, let me explain briefly why I decided to come here despite its danger. My beloved mom is from Moldova, and her mother, my babushka, is still living here. When I was a kid, we visited this place many times. We've been here almost every summer and stayed for up to 4 weeks, and it became like a second home. I associate many experiences and emotions with this place. I learned swimming here. However, it has been 10 years ago since I've been here for the last time. And then high school, traveling, and the vanity of life didn't let me come here again. Was machst du? Now, for the past 2 years, I've been living in Australia, and I had the plan of visiting my grandma here in Moldova after my travels through China. But that might be in 2 or 3 years, and then it also might be too late. Because my grandma has cancer right now, and she also doesn't get younger every day. And because I have a fairly good job at the moment in Brisbane, I can save up lots of money and have lots of time, I decided, or I thought by myself, it's the best time to go now. Of course, it has been extremely expensive. It put a big hole into my wallet and extremely exhausting. I was flying to Shanghai for 10 hours and then from China to Germany for 12 hours and then from Frankfurt airport to Moldova 2.5 hours with a 2-hour delay, and it was so stressful that I already regretted my decision while being on the plane. But then arriving here, seeing my grandma who was moved to tears that her grandson came from the other side of the world, it was all worth it. Of course, it is extremely nostalgic to be here again, to see the yard where I'm sitting right now, to see the streets and the fences, which are called like kalitka. I can show you what a real kalitka looks like here on this image. Unfortunately, there are also some changes. For example, my favorite part as a kid was what we called stroika, which literally means construction site. It was an unfinished construction site. It was just full of bricks and rooms, and it was also very dangerous because there was lots of steel sticking out and many holes where you could possibly fall in. But we were always running around there as kids and playing. This was unfortunately removed, but there is another stroika which I found nearby where I also have been scouting this area a bit. And this school here, where we always used to play soccer till late into the night, was a time before computers and smartphones. Then the wild cats and the wild dogs that are running around on the streets just really wakes up my memories. And above all, I have the joy to visit my grandma because she's extremely happy. And I thought it would mean so much to her if she sees that we, her grandkids, still remember her and take such a long way on our shoulders to visit her. Now, Moldova is not known for many things, and many people haven't even heard of it, but Romania is, which is the country nearby. Probably Romania is known for Dracula, and there was even a point in history where these countries almost merged with each other. But Russia had its influence on Moldova, and they introduced the Cyrillic alphabet as the official script for the Moldavian language, while Romanians still kept using the Latin alphabet. Another problem is that there is not really an official language here, because most people are Moldavians. They speak Moldavian, as my grandma does, for example, too. Можете себя представить на молдаванском?
Ну, конечно, могу.
Как звучит? Я хочу выяснить, если я что-то понимаю.
В смысле, как представить, что кто я такая?
Да, просто мое имя,
Так,
рост.
Манумеск, Пупынина, Лина.
А ладно, это как сказать имя, а как сказать я живу в Приднестровье, мой рост?
Есть в регионе Transnistria. Это в Приднестровье.
Да, Transnistria.
Ну, что тебе еще? Что ты еще хотел?
Как сказать, мои внуки сейчас у меня дома.
Мусафирия, но меня с афлами по всей имей, по-молдавски говорить тебе. se află nepoții mei, Thomas și Margarita, care locuiesc în regiunea germană.
Okay, I talk upon Thomas, Margarita and Germania. And then there are Russians and Ukrainians. But with Russian you get along very well here. Now, Moldova was a part of the Soviet Union, but when it started to fall apart, a small strip in Moldova, which I am in right now in Dubasari, declared independence in the year 1990. Because they didn't want that fusion with Romania. They considered themselves as like a Soviet Republic state, and thus it's still like that old school style here, with the streets that are called after Lenin, for example, Lenina Ulica, the hammer and sickle, which I already mentioned, and it feels like this state here remained in the spirit of the Soviet Union. Anyway, they declared independence in 1990, but the president of that time, Mikhail Gorbachev, he nullified this declaration. So they were never really recognized, and that led to a war for 2 years between Moldova and Transnistria, resulting in a ceasefire agreement in 1992, which lasts to this day. And that's the present state of the things here. When I was young, we crossed the border to Transnistria. There were always lots of soldiers and tanks. They're even still there. At that time, I didn't understand who it was and why they were here. Now I understand. These are Russian troops which were stationed here as peacekeepers, and that has been like that for the last 20 years. And they left lots of ammunition and equipment here over the time. And this is why I was warned of coming here, because the next steps of the Russians are unpredictable. Anyway, this is why I decided only to stay a couple days, and so far it was all safe and all good. Finally, I want to say it's just very important to never forget your roots, your background, your upbringing. As I said, there are so many experiences which I associate with this place here. It will always be like a part of me. I can tell a short story. I have a scar on my stomach here, which I have from here because I climbed up one of those kalitkas, one of those fences that have like, it looks like spears like sticking out, and I fell onto one of them. It was just so stupid, and I had like such a hole in my stomach. I was like crying, and I remember I was like laying in bed, and everyone was like panicking, like, should we call an ambulance? And I literally thought I was about to die. Oh man. Especially, it's also very important not to forget our elders. There is a Russian saying which goes, "Ценить надо вовремя." So you have to cherish or appreciate value at the right time. And I thought, if my grandma is gone, I can't come here anymore. And what is it that I always just send her audios on my phone, saying that I would like to see her and stuff, but I really never cherished the moment while she is still around. Besides, I got to see some of my siblings after 2 years. I saw my brother who brought my sister to the airport. She came here together with me. Now tomorrow I'm flying to Switzerland to visit my oldest brother, and then I'll be going back to Australia. Alright guys, I hope you found that video interesting and informative to hear of a country that you probably have never heard before. Well, it's not an official country, but kinda is like in between, because the people here, they, as I said, have their own like government and their own passports and stuff. Yeah, maybe it's my last time here. Maybe I'll visit this place again to catch these nostalgic moments again. But I'm glad that I came here and took this hard way on me. Yeah, alright guys, see you next time. Bye bye, auf Wiedersehen, до свидания, Wally, зайцен. Сколько мне там лет было?
Ну, где-то год, по-моему, или около года, наверное, так.